It is the most recognizable shape in the history of aviation. A machine so massive, yet so graceful, that it earned the title Queen of the Skies. But before she can conquer the stratosphere, she is nothing more than 6 million individual parts waiting to be born. This is the complete 100% journey of the Boeing 747. From the chaotic heat of the foundry to the serene cold of the upper atmosphere, we will witness every rivet, every wire, and every spark that brings this giant to life. This is the 0 to 100 evolution of an icon. The journey begins not in the sky, but deep within the earth. Massive ingots of 7,000 series aluminum alloy are chosen for their incredible strength-to-weight ratio. They are the raw canvas. In the milling hall, giant 5-axis CNC machines begin the process of subtraction. They carve away up to 90% of the metal, revealing the elegant, skeletal shapes of the main wing spars hiding within. Precision here is measured in microns. Advanced laser cutters then slice through titanium and steel components, cauterizing the edges as they cut, ensuring that every part is aerodynamically perfect before it ever touches the frame. Slowly, the ghost of the airplane begins to appear. Giant gantry cranes lift the circular fuselage ribs into vertical jigs, creating the rib cage of the beast. This is monocoque construction, where the skin and the frame work together to carry the load. Before the skin is sealed, it must be protected. Workers in hazmat suits apply a vivid green coating of zinc chromate primer. This microscopic shield will protect the aluminum from corrosive moisture found at altitude. Meanwhile, massive steel rollers apply tons of pressure to flat metal sheets, curving them into the signature aerodynamic arc of the fuselage. At the front of the line, Section 41, the cockpit and nose, is lowered onto the rails. At the same time, in a foundry miles away, the massive landing gear struts are cast from molten steel. Now, the giant pieces must meet. This is a game of perfect alignment. Using laser guidance systems that can detect a deviation the width of a human hair, the massive fuselage sections are brought together. Once aligned, immense hydraulic rams push the sections together, locking them into place. To walk inside the fuselage at this stage is to walk inside a cathedral of green metal. It is vast. An airplane without nerves is a statue. Now begins the installation of the nervous system. Over 150 miles of copper wiring and fiber optic cables are laced through the airframe. These bundles carry the lifeblood of data. They connect the pilot's inputs to the control surfaces on the wings and tail. We use gold-plated connectors to ensure that even in the event of a lightning strike or massive electrical surge, the signal remains pure. It is a complex web of logic woven by hand that turns metal into a thinking machine. Deep in the avionics bay, the brain is installed. Multiple redundant flight computers are slotted into the racks. These are the guardians of stability. They monitor thousands of parameters every second. When the power is finally connected, the screens in the cockpit flicker to life. A grid of green text scrolls by, System OK. For the first time, the machine is aware of itself. The logic is sound. The brain is awake. She is heavy, nearly 1 million pounds fully loaded. To support this weight, she needs the legs of Atlas. The main landing gear struts are installed, colossal pistons of steel and hydraulic fluid. In the testing lab, we simulate the violence of a maximum weight landing. The wheels are spun up to 180 miles an hour and slammed against the surface. The carbon brake discs are clamped down until they glow a furious cherry red, absorbing the kinetic energy of a small town. They must not fail. The airframe is a glider. The engines make it a jet. The General Electric engines are masterpieces of thermodynamics. The intake fans are composed of composite blades, sculpted to gulp down tons of air. Inside the core, the compression is immense. Fuel nozzles are designed to atomize kerosene into a mist so fine it behaves like a gas, ensuring perfectly efficient combustion. Every bolt on the casing is torqued to a specific specification, recorded and double-checked. This is the heart of the beast, dormant and waiting for the spark. The moment of union is called the marriage. Massive chain hoists lift the engines from their cradles. Mechanics guide them with gentle hands onto the wing pylons. Once secured, the fuel and data lines are connected. A static fire test confirms the health of the core, sending a jet of blue flame out the back. The Queen now has her power. At cruising altitude, the air is too thin to breathe and cold enough to freeze flesh in seconds. Thick, multi-layered glass is sealed into the cockpit frame, capable of withstanding bird strikes at high speed. Inside the walls, thick insulation blankets are taped over the aluminum ribs, trapping heat. Miles of ducting are connected to the environmental control system, ensuring air remains comfortable. An empty tube is engineering, a cabin is hospitality, rows of seats, designed for long-haul comfort, are bolted down, overhead bins are snapped into place. The galleys, miracles of compact efficiency, are slid into position and plumbed. Finally, the LED mood lighting is calibrated, capable of simulating a sunrise to reduce jet lag. She is nearly ready, but she lacks an identity. The aircraft is towed into the paint hangar, a sealed environment of humidity control. Robotic arms apply the white base coat with micrometer consistency. Then, the colors of the airline are applied. The tail, standing 6 stories tall, becomes a billboard for the brand. When the masking tape is peeled away, the sharp, crisp lines of the livery are revealed. The auxiliary power unit in the tail screams to life, providing independent electricity and air pressure. In the cockpit, the test pilots run through the final checklists. Navigation data, loaded. Control surfaces, free and correct. The massive hangar doors rumble open, flooding the space with natural light. The Queen blinks in the sun. She is ready to leave the nest. She lines up on the runway. The pilots advance the throttles, and 600,000 pounds of thrust are unleashed. At 160 knots, the nose lifts. Rotation. The main gear leaves the tarmac, tilting into the wells. She is clean. She is airborne. From a collection of raw parts to a living machine cruising amongst the clouds. The journey is complete. The Queen of the Skies reigns supreme. 0 to 100. The icon has arrived.